All right, guys, we can go ahead and start. So go ahead and come into Sukasana, and I'll see how long my socks can last on. Cross your legs at your mid-shins, and then lean over one side to the other. Hand, upper hamstring, lower buttock, rotate out, draw back. Do this on both sides. Should feel as if your two sits bones have moved away from one another. Bring your fingertips into your blanket, your mat, or your blocks. Press and lift your side rib cage. Now, as your side rib cage here comes up, your armpit chest here rolls up and back. You see, so instead of this, there's this kind of a rolling of the armpit space open. The tips of your elbows can bend and they move out to the sides as you draw the shoulder blades away from the spine. Bring the abdominal wall back, your sacrum and your tailbone down. Focus your gaze out in front of you on the mat or the floor. Next exhalation, bring the hands to the heart center. Bring your thumbs down to the lower part of the sternum, the breastbone. Tuck the inner arms in and then extend the tips of the elbows down. Close your eyes if you hadn't done so. Center yourselves using your breath. Your Ujjayi breathing, it's an audible inhalation, audible exhalation. Your inhale moves out into your outer body. Empty your lungs completely with your exhalation. And as you're taking your inhalations, remember that your lungs fill up like balloons, so they expand. So get that sensation of expanding through the torso as you take your inhalation. With the inhalation, keep the muscles in the face relaxed. Tops of the shoulders relax and moving away from the earlobe. I'll chant Om. Join in or you're welcome to just listen. Exhale your breath. Bow your head by bringing your chin to the groove of your neck. Bring your hands to the very tops of your legs. You keep your elbows bent here. Center your head, and your next exhalation, open the eyes, and you can release the hands. Go ahead here, guys. Let's come to the very top edge of our blankets. Again, make sure that you're at your mid-shins, but not at your ankles, or not even at the lower shins, but make sure that you're crossed at your mid-shins. You can bring your blocks in front of you if you need them, or lift your side rib cage, move your breastbone towards your chin, push your blocks out in front of you, or walk your arms and hands out. Once you get here, guys, your anchors, your upper leg bones, and your outer feet, your outer ankle bones, you want to focus there for a moment and spread your outer ankle bones to your mat. Take your outer feet and press them down. Use the inhalation to move the navel up and away from the pubic bone. And as you exhale the breath, bring the thoracic spine in or down towards your yoga mat. So the space between your shoulder blades with an exhalation moves into your back and then towards your mat. The chin, your breastbone moves towards the chin. Walk the arms out, really extend through the backs of your arms here, guys. Make the backs of your upper arms longer. So right above your elbow joint, see if you can extend that space out towards the top edge of your blankets or your fingertips. Press down, lift the chest, lift the torso away from the legs, and exhale. You can grip your blocks, bring them back towards you. We'll uncross and recross. So bring your opposite leg in. And again, you'll adjust the buttock flesh. So not only out, but also draw back. And you have this sensation that your sits bones are moving up more towards your lower back. Again, if you use blocks, you can use them again. Bring them out in front of you and push the blocks forward. Now, you don't want to bring your ears lower than your upper arm bones. So once you get your ears in line with your upper arm bones, engage your upper leg bones and draw them down. Engage your outer feet, bring them down. Move your belly button up and out away from your pubic bone. Good. Now, once you take your exhalation of the breath, I want you to move your thoracic spine into the body or towards your mat. So you can think of this also as your chest lifting towards your chin. And then grip over your buttocks and bring them back towards you. Perfect. Stretch your legs out, move the buttock flesh once more. And again, when you do that, it wouldn't look like this, right? So watch the feet. The feet actually indicate the left foot is going to get shorter or move behind the right foot. So make sure that you're tucking your upper leg bones into the hip socket. If you need your strap for Pashi, grab it. Otherwise, take your arms out, reach forward and grab the heels of your feet, or bring your strap to the heels of your feet. You'll inhale and extend up, move your side body up, and exhale, fold. So the elbows are not here, guys. Let's take the elbows out, extend out through the tips of the elbows, move the breastbone up towards the chin, move the very top of your head towards your feet. And then inhale and lift up or look forward here. And exhale, either walk your hands down your strap closer to your feet or stretch your arms out and then interlace your fingers around your feet. Inhale, stretch up, use the heel of your hands into your feet. So your feet are active, your hands are active. Bring your inner kneecaps down and fold. Widen your elbows again out to the side. Take the tips of the elbows and extend them out and see if you can lift them up towards the ceiling. But make sure that your hands are active. Your feet are active. Your legs and your arms are active. Continue to try to move the very top of your head towards the top of your feet. Maybe they touch. If you're using the strap, keep moving your spine in and up, in and up. And the more you move your spine in and up, the more your heels come down, the more your shin bones and your upper leg bones come down. Inhale, stretch up, lift your torso up away from your legs, and exhale to release. Perfect. 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 Again, go ahead. Let's adjust the buttock flesh here. And we've been doing this one lately, Machendrasana. So I'm going to cross the left knee in, slide to the edge of my blankets, let the kneecap go forward. I'll shift my weight over to the left, and I want you guys to place the right foot outside of the left thigh. And then hold on to your left knee with both of your hands. Draw that knee in. And as you exhale the breath, you're going to take the right hand in an L shape, draw the outer right hip forward, and then twist to the right. So the outer right hip rotates forward and down to your blanket as you twist to the right. So your right sitting bone is against your blanket. Your outer right hip is drawing back. Your outer right knee is drawing back. Great. And then exhale, bring your gaze to the center and release. Stretch your legs out. Adjust the buttock flesh and then change. So bend the right knee. And when you do this, guys, make sure the knee is not here, but draw that outer. It's the outer right knee and right leg that comes in. And then when you lean over to the right, bring the left foot across and outside of the right thigh. Hold with both hands. Go ahead and let your left sitting bone come up so it can come up initially. Draw in. L-shaped left hand. You're going to roll the left outer hip towards the inner right knee. Bring the sitting bone down. Twist the spine. Twist to the left. So you're twisting the spine, but make sure that you've got your anchor in your sits bones. You've got your anchor in your feet. You can also here draw the outer left foot down, and then bring the inner left foot down and the outer right foot down. And then turn to the center and exhale, release. Perfect. Go ahead and let's stretch both of our legs out in front of us. And one more time, you can adjust the buttock flesh. Actually, what I'm going to do is Triangle Mukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to move over off of my blankets, and you can use a strap for this. I mean, a block or a blanket. You can use a block or a blanket for this. If you're going to use a blanket, you would fold it like this. You sit right on top of the blanket with the sits bones here. You lean over to the left, go ahead and bend the right knee and place the right foot on top of your mat. So not just the inner foot, but you want to roll to that outer part of your foot and press through the outer right foot. Press down, outer right foot. You can lift up and you'll move the sitting bones up, move the sacrum in, come forward, and you can take your right hand, kind of swing it around and grab the left heel. Draw the left heel bone in, bring the left leg bone in and fold. So Triangle Mukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana. Don't roll your weight to your left, but rather put a lot of weight in your right front ankle, your right shin bone, and the top of your right foot. You can reach out, and if you're using a strap, you'll wrap the strap really close. Grab the strap really close to the left foot. So don't lean here, but go ahead and walk down, really get a good grip of the strap. And then inhale and lift up. And exhale, stay where you are, guys. Make sure that your 5 right toes are behind you. Bend your left knee, put your left foot on the mat. Instead of here, move your spine in and up. You can interlace your fingers around your left foot. Bring your left foot up so your left calf muscle is parallel to the mat. Exhale, straighten the left knee. So instead of here, guys, go ahead and move your spine in and up, and then pull your way towards your left leg bone. Use your left foot so your left foot is active. Flex your left toes, control your outer left hip, tuck it in, and then exhale. You can bend the left knee, bring the left foot down, and then extend the left knee. Lean over, straighten the right knee. Or you can shake the legs for a moment, and then over to the right, bring the left foot down. So start there, making sure that your foot is completely grounded. You can also use a block to sit on. So if this blanket isn't enough height, you can bring a block underneath your bottom. But make sure that your knees are together and that you've got even weight on both of your sitting bones. You'll pull your right leg back. You'll take that left hand and you can bring it to the right foot. But this cannot be the pose, guys. So when you're lifting up and you use the arm, you stretch the arm, hold the foot, tuck the heel bone in, and then fold. Then fold. So bring your torso right centered. So don't move towards your right leg or towards your left, but bring your sitting bones evenly down. Bring your sits bones up and over to your low back. Make sure that you're using your hand to your foot. Great. And then inhale and extend up. Exhale, bend the right knee. And you can also use your hands to bend that knee. When you get there, you move forward. You do a dorsiflexion. You kick the toes up, but draw the heel down and interlace. Now, when you bring this leg up, it is kind of closer to the armpit, the knee. Don't lean back, move in. And this may be as far as you can go. And then to straighten the knee, you've got to dorsiflex your right foot and then kick the heel of your right foot up to the ceiling. See if you can touch the ceiling with your right heel and see if you can touch the mat with your right toes. Lean in, move your torso in. Your torso moves in, your spine moves in and up. Good. Make your foot very active. Activate the foot. Good, 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 good. Again, see if the toes will come down and the heel will go up. And then exhale to release. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So as you come down, go ahead and bring both of your legs, extend both of your legs out in front. And then I'm going to bend the right knee and bring the right foot up, and I'm still on that little bit of my blanket. And again, I don't want to go here, but I want to move in. And as I hold the right shin bone, instead of letting it go forward, watch. I want you to bring your shin bone up and then watch back. You've got to use your right foot to do that. And then I'll take the left arm, my right to the ear, and I'll lift up. I'll twist to the right and hook the armpit outside of the right knee. Look over the right shoulder. Again, the practice is in drawing this outer right hip back as I twist to the right. So use your right foot, use your right, so your right knee is bent, move in, left arm up, twist to the right, hook the back of your left armpit to your outer right knee. Now bring your outer knee into your arm and your arm into your knee, twist to the right, twist to the right, but draw your outer right hip back like it's going to touch the wall behind you, and then see if you can wrap it around the back of the waist. Perfect. And then exhale, gaze to the center and release. Perfect. Stretch your right leg out and we'll bend the left knee. And again, never start a twist here. You want to bring the spine up and in and move your torso forward. Hold your left knee, take your right arm up. Go ahead. Before you lean in, begin to twist and then bend the right elbow. Hook it outside of the left thigh. Use the outer left hip as you twist. So you've got to draw, from your outer left knee to your outer left hip has to draw back behind you and then around the back of your waist. Good, 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 good. Perfect. And then exhale, gaze to the center. Perfect. Stretch your legs out, guys, and then go ahead and move over to the side. And let's start in Adho Mukha Virasana and then move to dog pose. So take my socks off finally. And since I've got this blanket there, I think I'll go ahead and use it again. And what I'm going to do, you can also bring this blanket between your bottom and your heels, especially if your bottom lifts up as you move forward. Or you can bring that blanket in front of you and you'll bring your chin to the groove of your neck and then bring your forehead to your blanket, not this or this. So you want to bring your spine in and walk your arms out and keep your anchor in your feet, your shin bones, and your bottom. So here you're anchoring here. Here's where you're continuing to stay grounded. So sometimes if you can't get that sensation, use your own hands, draw down, extend your side ribs out, bring your head down, walk your arms out. So no rounding of your spine as you bring your forehead down. Now, as I said a moment ago, if your bottom comes up, you can bring that blanket between your heels and your bottom. And then you can bend your elbows and just let your elbows rest. And then guys, go ahead and bring the inner wrist bones up and the elbows up once more. You can leave your forehead where it is. See if you can stretch your arms out a little bit deeper. Press with your hands and turn the inner eyes of your elbows up towards the ceiling. And then with your next exhalation, bring your forehead up and see if you can come hands and knees, and we'll come to our toes and take a dog pose. Now your forehead's not going to reach that blanket, so don't try that. But as you come up, move your weight back, keep your elbows straight, keep your kneecap straight. Yeah, so you want to really move your weight into your feet. Not just your feet, but your outer feet and your heels is where you want to move your weight. Straighten your knees, guys. Make sure your kneecaps are completely straight. They're engaged and they're drawing up towards your quads. Good, 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 good. And then as you exhale, come down and rest any way that you would like for a moment. I'm going to come up again, and this time I'm going to use one block on the mat for my dog pose. So I'm going to see if I can bring my forehead to this pose, and let's see if we can, to the block, and let's see if we can stay here. I don't actually have my timer on me, but let's see if we could take a 1-minute dog pose just because it's so cold outside. So what, and I'm going to just count, I guess. So I'm going to bring the block right underneath the breastbone. So they come hands and knees. And this block can be whatever level you need, or it can be multiple blocks. Spread the fingers, push down into your mat, take your toes down, knees up, press your way back. Not this to get your forehead down, but make your dog pose very long. Rest your forehead against your prop, tucking your chin. You'll draw your belly button back towards your spine. You'll move your navel back. Don't bend your elbows to get your forehead onto your mat. So you don't want to bend your elbows. Keep your elbows very straight. The muscles in your arms engage. Draw your belly button back. No arching of your back. Straighten your elbows, guys, and straighten your knees. Take nice deep breaths. And as you're here, you could take a moment to focus more so on your legs, on your legs. You don't want to bend the elbows or reach your weight forward. Actually, guys, press your weight back away from your block. Press your weight away from your block. Your forehead does come grounded. You do focus here on the breathing. Now, from here, if you'd like, you can relax the abdominals some and even close your eyes for a moment. Focus on the breath, the ujjayi breathing. Focus on evenness between both of your hands and both of your feet. So both your left hand and your right hand are equally doing the exact same thing. So there's weight in the base of your fingers. The heel of your hand is where you're carrying the weight, not in your fingertips. Give me a few more seconds here, guys. Again, seeing if, again, you can relax the abdominals. Let the forehead be heavy. Don't press it, but let it relax. And then see if you can really open up the back of your legs, your knees, the backs of your knees, your calves. Great, great. And then with an exhalation, go ahead and come down to your knees. You can move your block to the side. Come back into child's pose or Adho Mukha Virasana. And then guys, go ahead and come up, and I'm gonna be on the mat, but I've got my 2 blocks. And I think I'll come kneeling, and I'll bring this right foot in front, the left foot behind. I'll give a kick to the toes. So in other words, instead of this, I wanna really press the toes back, have this foot very active, draw the heel down. As I do this, I kind of draw the hip back. And as I'm here, I'll bend the elbows using the blocks, and I'll just fold, move the nose to the knee. And then I'll come up and I'll switch sides. So I'll bring that left out, bring the heel down, drag the heel back, open the chest and fold. So try not to sit all the way back on your heel yet. So start with your right leg in front. Your right knee is straight and you're in a dorsiflex, a pretty heavy dorsiflex of your right foot. Bring your left knee down, top of your left knee down, hands onto your blocks. Now you'll push down with your left foot, Push with your right heel and see if your right toes will reach your right kneecap. Drag your right hip back. And then bend your elbows to fold. Bend your elbows to fold and drag your right heel backwards as you fold. Good, good. And then come up slowly and switch. Perfect. Perfect. So this time you'll bring your left leg in front. And again, you've got to focus here. Some of us were like this. So go ahead and press here so you've got a lot of firmness there. You see? So if you were to release, you'd still be able to keep yourself grounded, right? So go ahead and left foot forward and draw the heel down, engage the foot, draw the toes back. Don't lean back on the heel, but rather bend your elbows. Use your left heel, drag your left outer hip back as you come forward. And again, the toes flex, the femur bone, left thigh bone goes down, right shin bone down, top of the right foot. Good. And then you can look forward and exhale to release. So I'm going to keep these blocks here, and I'm going to come standing with my right foot forward and my left leg back. And this time I'm going to press through my left foot, drag my outer right hip back, and again, fold. I keep my blocks here so I could keep the elbows bent. But watch, as I fold here, the hip goes that way, but the weight moves this way, forward. So move the weight forward. So you're right over the top of your right leg, okay? So we did that by coming up, right foot up, and I'm holding the block. Then I straighten the right knee and just step up. So you're folded already. Let's see if that gets us closer. So you start down on your mat, bring your right leg forward, and then you come standing on that right foot, draw down through your left heel, stay folded, bend the elbows and fold. So don't round your spine. If you're hollow in your abdominal area, you want to press deeper into your right foot. Press with your hands. Use your hands, everyone. Use your hands. Maybe your blocks go higher, but you want to bend the elbows and push down. That's it. Push down. Now, straighten your right knee. Everyone straighten your right knee. You're asking, how do I straighten my right knee? Right above your right kneecap. See if you can lift that space up and then take it back. Good. Shift your weight forward over your right leg. Great. Great. And then let's inhale and look out in front. So you'll come up, and here you can straighten the elbows, draw your hip back, and then we'll switch sides. So come down kneeling to start, because I think that it makes a difference when we come up where the torso is. So as you come up, you see, so you keep your torso down over the top of your left leg as you stand up. So you start kneeling, you put your hands on your block, bring your torso to your leg, then step. Good, good. So you don't want your back leg too far behind you. So Kelly, step your right leg forward a little bit. Yeah, but let's bend those elbows really deep and push the blocks down. Now use that to drag your outer left foot back, your outer left knee, your outer left hip. Go ahead and open up your torso. So you don't want any concaving in the front of your spine, so your abdominal area. Everyone bend your elbows and step forward or reach forward into your outer left foot. Come right over the top of your left leg bone. Push your blocks, not just down, but as you're going to push them down, pretend to push them away, and then use that. Compact your hips. Perfect. Perfect. And then from here, you can go ahead and you can inhale and extend up. And exhale, we'll come back down to kneeling. Perfecto. So I think this time that was really fun. I'm going to stay kneeling for a moment. like this. And I've got one block that I think I might need. And I'm just going to come over hands and knees. And I'm going to step the right foot up. I'm going to keep that left down. Bring the block. Press that outer right knee to the outer arm. And that right arm does this. The elbow rotates out, but I want that length here. And then I'll step up and take that left leg back. Now I've still got the torso here. I didn't lift the torso up, but I'm going to bring that right side rib forward, take my left arm out and over my ear. And so you start down kneeling. Step your right foot up, right toes to the right. Bring your block, lean over. Bring your block right outside of your right ankle. Put your right hand down. See if you can turn your right side rib forward. So your right hand is on your block. It's behind your right ankle. You're pressing down. Left hand can go to your hip. Then take those left toes out. Press down with your right hand and come standing. Take your outer left foot and ground it. Ground it. Don't go quickly. Don't go quickly, nor do you lift your torso up. You keep your torso where it was. And then see if you can bring that right rib forward, left rib back. Take your left arm out in front. Exhale, bring your left arm over your left ear. Make sure that they're touching one another. So bring the ear into the arm into the ear. Now reach out into your left fingertips, everyone. Reach your left fingertips out. Left ear, left arm, left fingertips out. Now, can you make the left side of your body longer, but press your outer left foot down? And then exhale, release, come down. So you're here. And I think you could step back, come back kneeling. Okay, so when I come up this time, start kneeling. Left foot to the left. Lean over, bring the block down. You want to rotate that side rib forward. Right hand on the right hip. Right hand, and this outer left knee goes back. And then you have to shift a little bit to the left, and then see if you can bring that right knee up and press through your outer right foot. Tuck your bottom in, right arm out in front, and then over the ear. So guys, your bottom, your sitting bones go into your body. They go in. That's great. Now the top arm touches the ear. Lot of weight in your outer right foot, guys. Can you press your outer right foot down? And then energetically hug your feet towards your midline. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then exhale, release. Perfect. And then we'll just come down to kneeling for a moment, and we'll take another dog pose. And this time I think I'll just bring the hands down, and I'll start with my feet a little bit wider than normal. So a little bit closer to the outer edge of the mat. Weight's not here. So you want to really draw your weight back, lift your quadriceps, and bring your heels down. Control your lower back, so you don't want to arch your low back. Don't arch your low back. A little bit wider with your legs, closer to the outer edge of your mat. Good. Good, 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 good. Perfect. And then let's take our gaze and look forward towards our hands. Maybe you come to your fingertips, but let's step up between the hands. The feet are apart still. Go ahead and keep folded and grab your ankles with your hands. So your shin bones or your ankle bones grab, draw up on the flesh, widen the elbows out. So focus a moment on taking your elbows out to the sides, the very tips of your elbows. Good, 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 good. Tips of your elbows out to the sides. Great, 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 great. And then inhale, look out in front And then exhale, release your ankles, bring your hands to your hips, and then come up. Okay, so I am going to use a block again, and it's going to be a warrior 3. Yeah, let's see. So I think what I'm going to do is bring one block to the upper legs, and then I'm going to take that block and I want to rotate inward. So this is the inward rotation. This is the action of the posterior pelvis. I'll come close, put the hands on the wall, step back, keep the ears in line with the upper arms. I think I'll step in with the right leg first, take the left leg back. Now here's the problem, guys, is that we move our weight forward. Draw your weight back. And when you lift the back leg, engage the inner legs where the block is and lift. Okay, so your back leg, which is your left leg, has to be somewhat active. Okay, so your block is at your upper legs. It is on the thin version, and it's right at the top of your upper legs. Have your 10 toes face forward. Walk to your wall, put your hands on the wall, and then walk yourselves back. So step back. Go ahead and step your right leg into the front, into the center, and take your left toes back and down onto your mat. Press with the top of your left foot, engage your left leg, and then lift your left leg up. Kneecap, left kneecap faces the mat. Do not bend the knees. Keep both of your knees straight. Can you guys point your left toes? Point your left toes. That's it. That gives a lot of movement in the leg. Point the toes, make the leg longer, and then lift. Great. And then release. That was good, guys. That was excelente. Excelente. Now your focus is still on even when you lift your leg, your 2 hip points continue to face the yoga mat. So you'll step opposite in. So here, and I'm just doing it like this so I can give you guys an idea of where your hip points go. When this leg goes up, that hip point doesn't lift up with it. Okay, so you can lift the leg by engaging the block. So switch sides, hands on the wall, step the left leg into the center, right toes back, engage the right leg, and then lift the right leg so it's parallel to the mat. Focus on your block. Use the block. That's great, Sarah. Guys, point your toes. The more you point, the stronger that leg is. Good. Take nice deep breaths. That's perfecto. Perfecto. Breathe, everyone. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Perfect. And then exhale to release. Excelente. Excelente. Keep that one block, and I'm just going to give a little, I don't know what you call this, but we're going to do this. So I'm going to put the block in front of me, and I'm going to step up with my right foot, and I'm going to take my left leg back. Then I'll bring my torso forward. And the only reason I'm doing that is so that I can feel this outer hip. And I want to draw this outer hip back and then step up using that outer hip. Your outer hip is here. When I come up, hands to my hips, even out my hip points. Even out my hip points. And then I'm going to take my left leg out to the side 6 times. Not swinging, guys. So usually a lot of times what happens is this. We finally get to the top, we get on the block, and then when we take the leg out, we kind of do this. You see, so that's not what we're wanting to do. We want to compact here, compact. Take that leg in and out. So the inner foot out, inner foot to the block, inner foot out, inner foot to the block. Not swinging or shifting the hips. Okay, so right foot is on the block. Press down through the right foot. Before you come any further, bend your right knee, step your left leg back and bend your right knee. Go ahead and bring your torso down, bend your right knee. You'll feel that. Bring your torso down. Right hand, L shape, draw your hip back. Left hand, left hip, step up. Use your outer right hip, guys. Step up using that outer right hip bone, outer right heel. Good, good, good. Now tuck your outer hips in, point your left toes. Left toes are away from the mat, and you'll take your left leg out 6 times. Don't swing, and see that your hip points stay even. Think about using the muscle on the inner part of your left leg as well as the outer part of your left leg. You're using muscles on the inner and the outer part of your left leg. So if you feel like you're swinging uncontrollably, don't lean, guys. Don't lean into that right foot. Stay very even into your right foot. So in other words, don't push your weight out into your right hip. And then once you've done all of those, 6 of those, you could step down. And then I'll put the left foot on. You've got to get your right foot back. Come forward, and before you step up, you pull the hip back, and then you shift forward to step up. So there's a lot of work in that step up where you should feel that outer hip bone. You should also feel your outer foot. Once you come up, find your balance, hip points even, point your right toes, and the right leg then goes out to the side. Think about using the inner foot to the block. Think about using the inner foot to the block. And the slower and the more control that you go, I think the more information you may get, right? So keep the outer hip tucked in. Keep the outer hip tucked in. And then when you guys get done with that, we'll step down. So let's see if we can do one more Warrior 3 coming. I think this is actually the most difficult way, and coming from a lunge. So there's a bunch of different moving parts to this. So let's see if I can do it. So what I'll do is and I don't think you'll need blocks, you may, but I'll come into this lunge, right? Right knee is bent. And actually I'll start high. So come into a high lunge, and then I'll shift my weight forward. And just like we did a moment ago, I'll rest that front rib cage on the right leg bone. Watch the right hip, it goes back. Then I'm gonna step up over this outer right hip and then lift my left leg. But my weight is here. My weight is here to the foot, here to the foot. You see, so if you have a wall and you want to use it, you can. But our main goal is using this hip, this hip, this hip. So if you go really quickly, you won't be using the hip so much. So it's the right leg in front, left leg behind you, and then bend your right knee, and you've got to use that left heel, guys. You've really got to use your left heel to bend your right knee. Bend your right knee 90 degrees. Go ahead and bring your left heel up to the ceiling. So your left toes are on your yoga mat. Think of this as a lunge. Think that you're in a lunge with your right knee bent. Good. Now, right knee 90 bent. Left toes on your mat. Bring your torso. Keep your right knee bent, but bring your torso and rest it on your right thigh bone. Stay here. Press through your back foot. Can you guys, L-shaped right hand, draw your right hip back. Keep your torso close to your right leg bone. Step up, take your left leg back. Step up, take your left leg back. Nice, guys. Nice. Nice, keep rolling that left hip down. Roll the left hip down. Nice, Kelly. And then you guys step back. Try to step back into a lunge. Perfect. Lift the torso up and then switch sides. So think of this as a warrior 1, almost like a half a warrior 1, where your back heel is up, right? We want to start there. So we want to get a nice squaring of our hips. When you come here, if you can pre-take your arms out. You see here. And then you'd have to step up over that outer left hip to take your right leg up. So bend the knee. Remember, your back toes are on your mat. Your back heel is up. You're in a nice deep lunge. And then lean over that upper leg. Draw the hip back. You can use your hand to do that. Keep your torso there. Shift your weight over your left hip. Take your right leg up. Keep your torso where it is. That's it. That's it, Kelly. Great. That's nice. That's perfecto. You guys point your back toes. Good. Great. And then exhale, come down. Nice. Very nice. Extremely nice, Sarah. Nice, nice, nice. Now, I'm going to assume, because of the way that those warrior threes look, that we actually did make a connection with the outer hip bone. Somebody, oh, good, Sarah, thank you. So I was just going to assume that we did, even if we didn't, but I was pretty sure we did. So I'm going to use a little bit of my blanket, just a little small bit, and I'm going to come seated center of my mat, so sideways, because we're going to do our legs out. And then I'm going to bend my left knee. Sorry, guys. Put the top of the left foot down, left ankle, left knee, left shin. Right leg's going to go out. And I want to roll the inner growing down. Twist to your left. Keep your left hip grounded. You can even come in and maybe go ahead and bend that right elbow. And you can bring it down inside of your right knee. And you may be here. And once you get here, left arm over to the toes, right? At any time, you can release the right hand, walk the right arm out, look up to the ceiling. Okay, so revolve Janu. So you'll come down, seated on your blanket. You'll bend your left knee, and the top of your left foot, left shin, goes to the mat. Left knee is all the way out to the left. And then right leg is extended out. Roll your inner growing down. Move your torso forward. Then lean over to your right, but twist to your left. Use your right arm so you can bend that elbow, bring it inside of your knee. Begin to rotate up through your chest. Walk your right arm out if you can. See if your right ear can come to your right knee. Your right ear can come to your right knee or the back of your upper right arm. Now, you could take your left arm out in front and then swing it over your head. Maybe grab your toes, right toes with your left hand. Press into your hand with your toes. One more breath, guys. Let's exhale and roll the chest up. And then release. Very nice. Very, very nice. And I think when we did this, when we would do this in the studio, and so listen, if you have more than one blanket, you can use it. And it's not that the blanket is going to be heavy necessarily, but the blanket does give you an idea that there is always weight here. So even as you're moving over to the left, this shouldn't be the case. So there's always weight here. In the studio, we would use sandbags here. We'd use sandbags on top of that bent knee leg bone. So you do a twist, and again, you can bend the elbow. You can bend that elbow and get it inside. You can use that to open up the chest, ground here, really ground here. And then those right fingers, look, if they come here, I think it's easier to catch your foot. It's easier than trying to take your arm over your head and then grab your toes. So if you can keep your right hand close to the floor as you kind of bring it around to catch your toes, you keep it close to the floor. But if you can't go that far, that's perfectly fine. That's it, Kelly. That's great. That's great. That's great. You guys bring your right femur bone down, even if you have to use your right hand. And then move yourself over. Try to get the back of your left arm or your ear to your knee. Good. Now, if you want to take that top arm out, bring it across the floor and then work it over the toes. Good. There you go, Kelly. Good. From there, Kelly, grab your toes if you can. Almost. Great, 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 great. Ha, and then you guys can exhale to release. Perfect. Stay sideways, and let's take our legs out to the sides and go ahead and make sure your center heels toes up. And then I'm going to roll the inner growing down. I'm going to see if I can come down onto my forearm. But again, I want to keep those. I don't want to roll to the outer heel or to the inner heel, center heel, and activate your legs. Watch the knees. They come down. The shin bones come down. The femur bones come down. You bring your elbows down and you can lift your chest. Now, you're thinking, well, there's just no way. You can also bring your blocks in front, and maybe you can't go that far, right? But you could come here. So blocks can be used just to get your torso. There you go, guys. Activate your feet. Pretend that you're going to make indentions or kind of little cuts in your mat with the heels of your feet. So you really draw down. And then you'll see that gives you a lot of control of your leg bones. But engage your legs, bring your femur bones down, activate your feet, extend from your inner growing to your inner heel. And then see if you can tuck your outer heels in. Perfect. And then come back to your hands. Come seated, and let's bend our knees and bring one foot in, and we'll take just a moment in Baddha Konasana. Once you get your feet together, grab the front of your ankles or your shin bones and pull your shin bones back. Pull your shin bones here back. You would open your feet like a book and then come forward. But here you've got to extend inner knees out, outer knees tuck in. So bring your outer knees back in and bring your inner knees out. Open your chest, no rounding in your spine as you come all the way forward, no rounding in your spine. You'll make your inner knees longer and then tuck your outer knees in. Great, 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 great. And then you guys can inhale, come up, and exhale, release. I'm going to bring the knees together and stretch the legs out. And before I go into the back bends, I'm going to use this blanket again. And I'm just going to lie across this blanket in the back, just a small back bend before we go deeper. So I'll roll over, and this is about the lumbar spine. And then I'll just recline over that blanket. Again, it's about at the lumbar. And you could take your arms out or up wherever you want to take your arms. And you can also straighten your knees. Or if this is pretty intense for you, you can keep your knees bent. We're going to go from here to Setu and maybe to Urdhva. But that block, your bottom is touching your mat. Your shoulder blades are touching your mat. That blanket is basically there supporting the lumbar spine, which is that space that's a little more arched for some of us. So as your blanket is here at your lumbar spine, you gently draw your belly down towards your blanket. And then you can, again, you straighten your knees. You can keep your arms out to the sides, or you can take your arms over your head. But again, you want to gently draw your belly towards your blanket. You can release your arms here and just kind of rest for a moment. And then let's go ahead and let's bend our knees one at a time. And to do that, I want you to drag one heel up towards the bottom at a time. One heel up towards the bottom at a time. And then let's let our knees just kind of gently rock side to side. Your knees are bent now. And if you feel that you're okay at your back, your low back, you can let your knees go all the way over and then switch that. Knees go over and they move at the same time as if they're tied together. But you can just kind of gently rock or move the knees back and forth, moving the navel or the belly button opposite of the knees. So when the knees go to the right, the navel goes to the left and the outer left side rib goes down. Good, 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 good. Perfect. And then go ahead here, guys, and bring your knees back to the center. And I'm gonna lift my bottom up and pull that same blanket right down underneath my sacrum. So I've got it to my sacrum, my knees are still bent. Gonna pull my blanket or my mat and pull my torso towards my head just to give some length in the low back. See, so it's at the sacrum, it's at the lower part of the back. I want to tuck the tailbone and the sacrum. Grab your strap if you've got one. And if you don't, you can bend your right knee and grab your right foot or your right toe. If you've got a strap or you have to have one, wrap your strap around your right foot, straighten your right leg. My left knee is bent for a moment. I'm going to straighten that right leg. And you can hold your strap with two hands, press up into your strap, engage the inner part of your right foot. Go ahead, take your right leg out to the right. At the same time, left knee falls out to the left. Keep your left knee bent. Keep your left knee bent. And I want you guys to draw down on your left outer buttock, left side. Your left outer buttock really reaches towards your blanket. Your right hand is at your right foot. And if it's not, if you're holding a strap, go ahead and walk your hand down so that your hand is close to your foot. Turn your right toes down. Turn your right kneecap down. See if you could wiggle your left foot more to the left. Keep the outer left foot down. See if you can reach the mat with your outer left buttock. Bring your left foot up, bring your right leg up. Go ahead and rotate your inner left knee in. Take your right leg and move it to the left. You've got your left knee bent and your left foot is pressing into the mat. And you'll bring your left knee in and your right leg all the way over to the right. Now, when your right leg gets as far as it can, you've taken your right leg as far to the left as you possibly can. See if you can reach your right sitting bone back down onto your blanket. Right sit bone. See if you can keep your right leg where it is, but move your sitting bone down and into your blanket. Nice. Nice, guys. Rotate that inner left knee in, take it in so that the hips become very compacted. Now bring your right leg back to the center. Bend your right knee and release and take your left leg up. So remember, we never straighten that leg. We keep that right knee bent now. But when you go here, really move that femur bone back, and you can even use your hand to kind of give that idea that that left leg bone goes back away from you. You'll press up into your inner left foot, base of your left toe joint. Now you can bring your left leg closer to your chest, but bring your left thigh bone further away from your chest. Now go ahead and reach up, grab your left, the strap with your left hand close to your foot. Take your left leg to the left. At the same time, right knee rotates out to the right. It's in Baddha Konasana. And there, for me, there is a very clear difference on this side than there was on the other side. Yep. So again, really let that outer foot of your bent knee ground. See if you can bring that outer buttock of your bent knee, which is now your right knee, down, down, down. Good. Keep your foot active, guys. So that foot, the right knee that's bent, focus on that foot going down to bring the outer hip down. Keep reaching into your inner legs. And now you can bring that right foot and walk it a little bit further to the right. Just give a teeny bit of space. See if you can feel a little bit more space between your hip points. That space should increase. That space between your hip points should increase. And then very slowly, you'll bring your leg up and you'll bring your right foot back down onto your mat. And here's where we're going to bring that right knee in and take the left leg to the right. So in order to do that, you've got to really use that right knee. Rotate it in a little further than you'd like, or that you think you'd like. And then rotate that outer hip down. And you can even try here twisting or moving, rotating your abdominal flesh to the left. That gives a little bit of additional assistance. And then you want to use that right knee, guys. Keep bringing your right knee in. Now bring your left thigh bone to the back of your left leg. See if now you can get your left sitting bone onto your blanket. Don't move your foot though. Just see if that sit bone will touch the blanket. Good. So that means you've got to kind of draw it towards that right knee and then down. Good, guys. Excelente. Excelente. And then bring it back to the center. Perfect. And then you can bend that knee and keep both of your feet grounded. So now you've got that left foot on your mat. And from here, I'm going to just lift up and I'm going to move my blanket out to the side. So for our back bends, you can place your hands over your head or right at your ears, fingers facing the tops of your shoulders. You can come into Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you can't do Urdhva Dhanurasana or you're not comfortable with Urdhva, you can use that blanket again underneath the top of your shoulders like this. You can reach down and grab your feet or hold your heels and come into the bridge pose. So this is if maybe you're not even working yet into full back bend. You're just working on the concept, the idea of lifting your hips up and moving your shin bones. So whatever you're working on, either Urdhva Dhanurasana or Setu Bandha. Now, let's see. That's nice. So Kelly, what I would like for you to do, and not just Kelly, but a lot of you, is bring a block, even those of you pressing up into back bend, bring a block between your knees. Bring a block between your inner knees. Attempt to hold your block as you come into either Setu, there you go, or full back bend. Good, 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 good. That's it. So that's nice, Hannah. That's nice, nice, guys. When you're using a block, it gives a whole different kind of sensation, a whole different activity. It articulates very differently when you're focused on keeping your knees, your inner knees moving down or towards your mat. So either Setu, Bandha, or attempt a full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Perfect. And then when you guys are done with whatever back bend that you were doing, you can go ahead and just come flat on your mat and maybe bring your knees up to your chest, and you can hug the knees or movements here. And then take your knees to your left and you'll twist to your right. And once you get your knees all the way over, you'll want to bend your elbows, move your left shoulder blade to the left, and continue that twist. And then I'll bring my knees up and I'll take my knees to the right and I'll twist to the left. We've got to move that right shoulder blade to the right as I twist to the left. And then we can bring ourselves back here to the center. Roll either up or roll. You can roll up seated or you can roll over to the right and come up seated here. And as I come seated, I'll adjust again the flesh of the buttock, and I'll just take a moment in a forward fold. You can hold the ankle, you can hold the outer feet, but bring your forehead down. You can even close your eyes, especially once you get your forehead against either your shins, your knees, your blocks, or your blankets. But once you get your forehead grounded, see if you can relax the face and relax the belly. So the abdominal wall, you can relax at the abdominal. And then you guys can inhale and look out in front of you, and then exhale to release. You can just kind of roll up slowly. And from here, you're in inversion. So if you want to do headstand, Shavasana, you can, or legs up the wall, or handstand, or even Pincha Mayurasana, which is our forearm balance pose, right? If you're not going to do any of those, one that you can do to give a little release to the back and a little bit of an inversion would be dog pose, or you could stand up and do Uttanasana. And I don't know if I said, but legs up the wall is also an option. Now, if you're doing headstand, go ahead and make sure that the fingers interlace where the fingers face you, and give a really good cup or grip to the back of your head. And those of you who are really, you practice Shavasana or have been doing so for a while, you want to really move your weight back some so you've got a little bit more distance between yourself and your wall. We've also worked on bending our knees with our heels coming to our bottom so we can actually open up the front of the hips before we straighten the knees. Very nice, guys. And then with the exhalation, you can come down or out of your pose. If your legs up the wall, stay there a moment. If your legs in the chair against your sofa, you can stay there. If you were in headstand, you can come into child's pose. Tuck your chin, groove of your neck. And then in this child's pose, you relax your arms, shoulders, and your head. You kind of move your chin towards the groove of your neck just to get a little bit of additional opening in the cervical spine. So you're just releasing the neck here. Good, good, good. Perfect. And then you guys go ahead and come up nice and slow. Nice and slow. And I'm going to bring a blanket. Again, I had one from Headstand, but I'm going to keep this in front of me and then sit in front of it. And then I'll bring my left leg in, and you know that outer left foot comes down, outer knee. And see if you can determine for yourselves if this is an even bend. You see, so I can tell that that left knee is kind of moving forward. And I want to really line that outer knee up with the outer hip. So let me show you on the other side. So you're going to start with your left though. But instead of this is not even. So I want to keep the foot there and I want to pull that hip back, thigh bone goes in. And then when you bring your opposite foot over, bring that ankle bone to the inner knee. Here you have to externally rotate. Some of you have got some tricks that you use, like tying the knee to the top foot. The one trick that I've always really liked that we used to do a lot at the Y was to bring a strap right behind that top knee, like this. And then when this knee comes over, you then use your strap to draw down and open up that outer hip. So that is an option. That is an option. But press your hips back and come forward. Press your hips back, come forward. Try to move your torso out towards your head. Really try to move forward here. Great. And then come up and we'll switch sides. So now it's the right leg that's down, left leg is on top. I should have showed you guys this on the other side, but watch here. You can use your hands, but this is not what we want. We're going to go ahead and pull it all the way over. And then watch the hand now. I gotta draw it down towards the mat or down towards that heel that's against my blanket. And here you've got to come forward. So your inner thighs rotate down and your chest goes up and out. Your chest goes up and out. Now that strap is behind the knee or like the calf really, I mean the hamstring really. Good. But have this sensation of tucking in. So you've got an tucking in of your outer legs. And then see if you can get your torso to reach forward a little bit further. Bring your spine in and your head out. That's great. That's wonderful. And then you guys can exhale to release. Very nice. And come up slowly. Very good, guys. And I'm going to go back down onto the mat once I get my socks on here. And I'm going to use that blanket, outer hip, strap in the right hand, feet to the wall. And if you notice, this is how I come down. Right? You're here. And then when you straighten, you push. And again, no space at your lower back. No space at your lower back. Now, I have a blanket at my outer right hip, but you guys may want to use a block, okay? So I'm going to bend the right knee and put the strap around the right foot. Take the right leg up. This time I'm going to turn the right toes right and bend my right knee and do half of a happy baby here. And if I'm using a strap, I don't want to do this, but I want to go ahead and reach up and pull down on that strap. So when I pull down on the strap, it brings the top of the right leg to the blanket or the block. And then see if you can push the wall to bring your left hip down. So your right knee is bent and you're in half a happy baby. So your right heel is moving up to the ceiling, your right toes towards the floor. The top of your right leg bone is against your blanket and your left outer hip is grounded. Now, if you've got that right knee there, right knee bent, go ahead and straighten your right knee as much as you can. Don't let the top of your right leg bone come up. Keep your leg bone against your prop. Keep your right upper leg bone against your prop. Now bring your right leg up and take it across the body. Switch the hand that holds your strap. Here, I want you to pigeon toe your left toes. Then take your right leg to the left. Pigeon toe your left toes. That means roll your left toes in so that they're not falling out. And this gives you a deeper compacting of your hips. Roll in like you're pigeon toeing. Now, see if you can touch that outer right hip bone, the same outer right hip bone that we reached into with Warrior 3. See if you can take that outer hip bone, tuck it in, and then draw it down towards your left foot. And then bring it back to the center. Perfect. Bend the knee. Excellent. Switch side. So your blanket or your block, maybe you were using a block, goes to your outer left hip. Make sure that your feet are active and that there's no space at your lower back. Take your strap around your left foot. So here, when you lift your left leg, there's a tendency maybe to have space show up in the lower back, but keep pulling the belly down. Now bend that, turn your left toes left, bend your left knee. Come into half of a happy baby with your left foot, left leg. So really ground the top of your left leg bone on your prop. You can wiggle your right leg just a little bit further to your right, and you'll feel a little more space come between the hip points. Don't straighten the knee quite yet, but as you bend the knee, see if you can pull the kneecap towards the floor and the inner knee away. Now, move your navel to the right and see if you can straighten your left knee, but pull your abdominal wall opposite of that left knee. Good. Hold really close to your foot with your left hand. You can even bend the elbow out, open the chest. Because we're supine, a lot of times we forget about a lifted chest or flat spine, right? Good. So make the inner left leg longer. And then that outer left hip bone, we worked on the hip bone earlier in class, tuck that hip bone in so you're still compacting. And then bring your leg up very slowly. Before you take it all the way over, you're going to pigeon toe on your right toes and then take your left leg over to the right. Good. But really get that sensation of you are tucking your outer hips in. It is never just your outer hips. It's your entire outer body, your outer ribs, your outer arms, right? It's your entire body. You're pulling, you always pull into your midline and you extend out to the periphery. So you extend out as far as your body extends out, but you tuck back into your midline. Now go to your outer left hip and see if you can rotate it down, that hip bone. That's it, Aiden. And it may even touch into or at least rotate towards your right inner foot. And then bring the leg back to the center. Good. And then you can exhale to release. Good. Stay supine, and I'm going to bend the knees, and I'm going to come half lotus. So I'll bend the knees. I'm going to bring this right foot up in the half lotus, and I'll let that left knee bend, and I'll bring the inner left foot to the outer right knee. So start with your straight leg. You could bend your right knee and come into half lotus. Bend your left knee, bring your left foot underneath your outer right knee. So it's just a half lotus. Take your hand to your right foot and pull your right toes in. You'll notice that that's not just your toes, but you'll notice that it activates your right leg bone. So to get Padmasana, use your hands to your foot, pull your toes back, press into your right heel with your right fingers, and see if you can point that right kneecap straight out top edge of your mat. Nice, nice, guys. And then we'll release. So to release this, I'm going to release the right foot. And I'll start with straight knees. And then I think sometimes we go here with that Padmasana. But look, when you bring this foot up, grab that foot. And you want to think about folding those toes back. And then bend the right knee. And see if you can bring that outer left knee towards the right foot, because it's folded in now, remember? So you may be able to open it up. But if you tuck your left knee in towards your midline, you'll get more space on your outer left hip. Great. And then you guys can exhale, release, bring both of your feet down. Just one more, and then we'll take Shavasana. So I'm going to bring both of my feet up, knees bent. I'm going to cross my right knee over my left. Take my feet out, reach up, grab my feet with my hands. And this is it. Hold your feet, draw your feet into your hands, draw your outer right knee into your inner left knee. So the feet are wide. If you can pull the feet down towards the mat. And then kind of press them up, use your hands. And you can bring them down once more and then press them up. And then I'll switch. So I'll unhook, cross the left over the right, let the feet go out wide, and then grab and hold that for a moment. You'll hold here for a moment. You want to press your feet into your hands. Press your feet into your hands. It will make a difference. Press your feet into your hands and then draw your outer knee into your inner knee. And then you can go down with pulling the foot down towards the mat and then lifting up. When you're bringing your feet back up, press into your hands. You press into your hands. That's great, guys. Press into your hands. And you can even use your hands to pull your feet out to the sides, but you definitely want to use your hands to your feet here. Perfect. And then exhale to release. And prepare for Shavasana any way you want to take Shavasana. And it's freezing, so if you want to cover with a blanket or two, or you just want to go get your comforter from your bed. That's what I wish I could do right now. Your pillow, your PJs. Go get whatever you need. And then once you get down, again, we talked about this yesterday, and you know, there are many ways to actually take Shavasana, including in a prone position, so meaning on your belly. So if your low back, it still maybe needs a little bit of extra relaxing, you can lie on your belly with blankets under your feet or under your ankles or your shins. Or you can lie flat on your back and bring your blanket under the backs of your knees. Or the best of all for the low back is to move to the wall and take your legs up the wall, or even placing your legs in a chair. But once you get here, guys, take the arms out to the sides, take an exhalation of your breath, and relax every muscle and every bone and every internal organ in your body. And through your exhalation, let go. Begin to deepen your breath. Move your awareness back into the room. Small movements in the fingers and in the toes. And you can bend your elbows and bring your hands here to your belly or to your heart. Stretch the arms up and over your head. Take a full body stretch. You bring your abdominal wall down towards your mat. Then as you exhale the breath, release the arms to the side body, and you can bend your knees one at a time, bringing your feet onto the mat, the floor, the wall. And you can bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees in any movements, side to side or front to back. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your right side and just hold there in a fetal position. And then when you're ready, bring yourselves up seated here, any seated position. Your hands can come heart center, third eye, or just resting at the top of your legs. Take a moment in silence, honoring the true self. Don't depend on something that comes from outside. Outside things are never going to make us happy. And it should be that way, so that one day you will realize that there is always someone to love and comfort us inside. If you want to be happy, work for the happiness for all people everywhere. The best remedy for any illness is laughter. Thank you guys very much. Namaste.